Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you would never ask, Heidi. Today is Tuesday. It is the 8th day of September. It is National Pediatric Hematology Oncology Nurses Day, which is very, very specific.
Very specific.
But those folks are awesome folks. It's National Ampersand Day. You know what that is?
I do.
It's like the and sign, right?
Yep.
It is a weird-looking thing. No, I never really thought about it, but somebody was telling me, what does that look like to you? Does this look like that, or does it look like that? And I'm like, I never really paid attention, but the ampersand, kind of weird. Today's the day to celebrate it. National Ants on a Log Day. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's like a treat that has something with like raisins across the top. That's the ants
like
on the log.
Celery and peanut butter and raisins?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, we'll have to Google that, and we'll have to try some.
Huh.
And then it is also National Another Look Unlimited Day. What?
I don't know what that is either.
I don't either. We really need to get out more. But it is a Tuesday, and we're not going anywhere. We're going to be calling her daddy, my father-in-law, for a little thing called Tuesdays with Charlie. That's on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Study published by Nature Communications found that the flu virus can travel in dust and other non-respiratory particles. The flu virus. I never really thought about that before.
Well, it has to attach itself onto something. And
you're saying it can get on dust and other
Yeah.
non-respiratory particles.
I'm sure it can.
So careful out there. Thanks for listening to Surveys and Studies and Such, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. This is actually a thing here that is kind of concerning. A survey by a company called Quest Diagnostics found the number of American workers testing positive for marijuana has hit an all-time high. So this is at places where they know they're going to be drug tested.
Right.
And they get drug tested,
anyway.
and they're like, oh, hey, yeah, well, I'm sure I'm doing that. So think about, we just did a story about a place where they have people bringing in urine to heat it up in microwaves. So think about how many people slip through the cracks, or people who work at places that are not being tested.
Right.
So apparently it's at an all-time high, which is kind of concerning. I've got a link to the story if you want to read the details on the survey that was done and all of that. And I also have a link to TimeForRehab.com, just so you know, in case you happen to be the one that, needs that help. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Horror series The Haunting Hill House was a huge success on Netflix. It released back in October 2018. I think you watched that, didn't you?
Mm-hmm, I did. I liked it.
Was it good?
Yes.
It earned a lot of love.
I didn't like how it ended, but I liked it up until then.
It earned a lot of love from the fans and critics. The story being told in Hill House may have reached its end, but Netflix was eager to capitalize on their success. They're going to be launching and continuing on an anthology series, bringing back many of the same actors, entirely new roles for The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Okay.
So you see the same people doing like something a little different. First look came out last week. I've got a link to the trailer in the show notes for today. What else do we have here? Did you know that there's a cable channel called FYI?
No, but we haven't had cable for so long.
Well, this cable channel that I hadn't heard of and many others hadn't heard of recently landed the Miss USA pageant for 2020. It'll take place on November the 9th at Memphis, Tennessee's Graceland Mansion. That's Elvis Presley's home. So there you go. That's something I didn't know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now, your scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. A New Hampshire man was arrested for chasing his neighbor with a sword after there was a complaint that the music was too loud. So he complained, music's too loud. The guy didn't turn the music down, so he chased him around with a sword.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. A North Carolina doctor was arrested for watching a movie on his phone while his self-driving Tesla car crashed into a police car.
Ooh.
It is illegal to watch any form of video in any type of vehicle, even if the vehicle is on autopilot. So they said, no, that's still illegal. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos has become the world's first $200 billion man.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, we just talked about that.
And the thing is, he went through a divorce not too long ago and lost like a bunch.
Imagine where he'd be if he hadn't. Holy cow.
Yeah. CDC is warning business employees not to argue with customers who refuse to wear a mask. So the CDC came out and said, don't get in arguments over it because that's doing more damage than the person not wearing the mask. So don't do that. American Airlines is planning to cut 19,000 jobs when the federal aid expires in next month in October. 19,000 jobs. That's a lot of jobs. So that's kind of crazy. KFC is dropping the phrase finger licking good because of coronavirus. They say it's not safe to lick your fingers right now. So I think it's just a saying anyway. And if you're eating food, whether you're licking your fingers or not.
Hopefully your hands were already clean.
Wash
so you
your
should
hands
be able to
first.
still lick your fingers.
But maybe they
it's
should.
not like you're licking your neighbor's fingers. It's
Well, you shouldn't. Although I've had that happen. Like, ooh, hey, can I have some of that?
Silly.
No, you cannot. TikTok's parent company is preparing to shut down their American operations if they cannot find a buyer. So they're trying to sell it to somebody locally in the U.S. of A. And if they can't find a buyer, then they're going to have to turn things off. Apple is changing the privacy feature on their phones to make it harder for Facebook to track their users. So Apple and Facebook and like Netflix and Google and all these giant companies,
Right.
a lot of them don't like each other.
right.
Because the other ones are kind of like somehow encroaching on them and competing with them. So apparently Apple and Facebook have got into a little thing here.
I don't like anybody tracking what I'm doing, so
It'll be interesting to see if Apple comes out with their own social media platform to compete with Facebook. That would be kind of interesting. Google did for a while. Remember that? Google Plus?
what was it
It
call?
was called Google Plus.
Oh.
I was on it
It was
for
a
a while.
social media thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even
catch
know.
on. It was me and like 7 other people who worked at Google. I was like, hey guys, I'm the only one here that doesn't work at Google. Have you ever felt your hair grow a little faster?
I've never felt my hair grow
Have you
at
ever
all.
felt like your hair might be growing faster the last few months? Science tells us hair grows faster in the summer months than it does in the winter months.
Okay.
Hair grows slowest at night, by the way, and it speeds up in the morning and slows down in the afternoon and grows faster again in the evening. So now you know. I had no clue. I'm so much smarter than I was a few minutes ago. Even if
Maybe.
even
if that's accurate.
even if I don't look it. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. And it's time right now for my favorite program, something we do every Tuesday just because we can. We pick up the phone and we call my father-in-law for a little thing we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
It's Tuesdays with Charlie on the John and Heidi Show.
Hey, Charlie, how are you?
Well, it's Tuesday.
It
That's
is
all I can
Tuesday.
say.
Well, we're excited to talk to you, even if you're not excited to talk to us.
It's always a pleasure talking to you.
It's always a pleasure.
It is indeed. Well, what do we got today? You got some fun stuff to share?
Well, I don't know how about fun. I got some stuff.
All right. What do you have?
Did you know that Smokey and the Bandit was the second grossing movie of 1977?
Really? So they did pretty darn well. What was the top one?
Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, that would have been tough to compete with.
I've never watched Star Wars.
Really?
I think it's stupid.
How would you know if you've never even watched it?
Well, because they got robots and all that other garbage in there.
Yeah, I'm not a sci-fi person either.
Well, now, if nothing else, at least I know where Heidi gets it.
There's not even enough alcohol in the world to make me watch that show.
There have been numerous times where she's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm not interested. That looks dumb." I'm like, "You've never even seen it." Yeah, it's just dumb. I'm like, "Okay, where do you get this?" Now I know.
Hey, and then speaking of Smoking the Bandit, you know Jerry Reed?
Yeah.
He wrote that song "Eastbound and Down."
Yeah.
He wrote that in one night.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
And it's still 9th on today's Trucking Top 50.
Oh, I bet. It's a great song.
It really is.
And that was way back in 77.
Yeah.
So that alone shows it's a better show than Star Wars. And then a survey conducted by the toilet paper company Charmin reports the average person uses approximately 57 sheets of toilet paper per day.
Wow, that's a lot of toilet paper.
Well, then me and you are on average, so you know what that
They're
does
not
to
very
it.
big, though. I mean, that's not very many,
It's
especially
just-
for a female.
Yeah, it just seems like a lot.
I think it's a lot, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys are
Hey, then
guys.
if
You
you-
don't have to use it every single time. So I suppose if they average it out amongst everybody, because girls have to use it every time.
There you go.
So that's
don't
where that
have
number
to.
comes
I'm
from.
not arguing with you on this.
Calm down, Spanky. It'll be all right. And then,
What else do you have, Charlie? Move on.
did you know some manufacturers make glow-in-the-dark toilet paper?
Really?
Oh,
Why would you want that?
Because they use 57 sheets a day. You must be in the dark sometime.
in the dark. I would buy that.
Hey, then, each year in Canada, about 225 men fall overboard and drown standing up in a boat to urinate.
Oh, wow, that's not good. What a terrible way to go, too.
Well, I think there's alcohol involved in that.
Well, probably. But boy, that's not good at all.
And then here's another. Boy, this must be bathroom day or something. You know that an elephant can urinate more than 13 gallons per day?
Oh, wow.
Yuck.
That's a lot.
That's a whole lot. They probably use more than 57 sheets of toilet paper.
No, I bet they don't use any.
There you go. Hey, then I got to get me one of these things. And I think you've tried to give me something similar to this that don't work. But fighter pilots wear a bag-like gadget called a piddle pack to urinate in while they fly.
Oh, really? So they can just keep on flying. They don't have to use the restroom.
And I think you've got me some stuff that's similar that you're supposed to use, and they don't work. I tried that.
I think it was a gag gift, Charlie. I don't think you were supposed
No,
to try
it wasn't. It was. He was supposed to use it.
Huh.
And if you'd have been there, I'd have killed you.
Get the shampooing bill for that carpet.
You got a question for me?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know you were ready for that. So you're ready for
I'm
a
ready.
question?
Yeah.
So how many pennies do they estimate are thrown away every day? Pennies, just the pennies. How many do you think that they throw away, estimated, every single day?
1,500.
No, way more than that. It is estimated that we throw away 7 million pennies every day.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot
That's
of
where
pennies.
the coin shortage is coming from.
Quit throwing away pennies. People go, they're worthless. It's just a penny. Well, that adds up, man.
How many is that divided by into a dollar?
So 7 million pennies, that'd be $7,000 or $70,000.
I don't. I'll take either one though.
No, I would take either one.
I think it's $70,000. 7
Wow.
million would be $70,000. I'm doing math on the fly, Charlie. That's never good.
There you go.
Well, it's nice to chat with you, Charlie. We'll talk to you again next week.
We'll do her on Tuesday, I hope.
Sounds like a plan. Have a good day.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye. Bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Bye-bye. My father-in-law right there. We talk to him every Tuesday just because we can. It's a little show we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM. With with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Competitive art used to be an Olympic sport. That'd be kind of cool. Like watching people paint stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
Chisel. Like they're chiseling a giant sculpture.
I guess it depends on what the art is.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. But competitive art used to be in the Olympics. And now you know. Today's fun fact. If you have a credit card, our friends at bettercreditcards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to bettercreditcards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com. Time now for a news headline from somewhere in this world. Dateline as I spin the globe. Spain. Dateline Spain. A would-be burglar who tried to break into a restaurant in Spain found himself in a tight and greasy situation. The man tried to break into a restaurant by climbing down a grease vent, but he got stuck. He had to wait 7 hours until he could be freed. I read a story about somebody that did that kind of close to where we live, and they did a lot of damage going in that way.
Yeah.
And then the restaurant had to be closed a while, so that ain't good. Don't do that. It's a bad idea.
Not smart.
And that guy got caught too, because it's
You're
not.
going to get caught.
Yeah, it's not a smart plan. Thanks for listening to today's news headline from somewhere in this world.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. You ready for this, Heidi?
I'm ready.
All right. South Florida man and woman accused of trying to obtain $1.1 million in federal corona relief for businesses that didn't even exist. 38-year-old LaToya Stanley, 33-year-old Johnny Pilfus, both neighbors in Miami, charged with wire fraud and making false statements. The complaints allege they claimed to employ 18 people for a beauty supply business and 5 people for a farm in Miami, apparently. According to prosecutors, they claimed the gentleman claimed 29 employees for a car company that he doesn't have and another 10 for a farm that he doesn't have. They live in residential homes with very small yards, but they somehow claimed these as farms. Online court records didn't list attorneys for either of them. The Paycheck Protection Program represents billions of dollars in forgivable small business loans, but it's not meant for this. Like, they made up fake things. So, anyway, they got themselves in trouble. $1.1 million worth of loans that they tried to forge. They got caught. They're going to probably go to jail for quite a while. So there you go. That's what happens, I guess. It's weird news. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. An Oklahoma man was arrested for going through a Taco Bell drive-thru in the nude. All of his clothes were in the wash, he said.
Which, when you gotta have tacos, you gotta have tacos.
Wait a minute, it's illegal to drive naked? I didn't know that. He's 61 years old. Christopher Sale, S-A-L-E, placed an order through the drive-thru speaker, pulled up to the window in the nude, and he went to pay. A 41-year-old female employee looked into the vehicle and noticed he was completely nude. And says, despite his nudity, the Taco Bell worker accepted payment from him, gave him his food. However, the employee told police that she believed that he sought to extend the encounter by asking her to add to his already completed order. A patrolman who responded to a 911 call about a naked Taco Bell customer found him in the drive-thru. He was still there, still completely nude. A white bath towel was noted on the passenger side floorboard, but he had nothing on him. So there you go. That's just a bad idea.
That's not something I would ever consider doing.
No, me neither. It's a bad plan.
I don't like anybody seeing me nude. I'm certainly not leaving my house that way.
Not going to do it. It's today's moment of duh. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, fake news or Florida? A Melbourne, Florida man arrested for refusing to pay a cab driver who took him home after he was released from jail. Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say fake news.
You're going to be wrong this time. You are right so much. You can afford to be wrong this time.
That's all right. I don't mind.
By the
it's
way,
not like I have anything writing on this.
No, I have not been keeping track on how many times you're right and how many times you're wrong, but I have a gentleman who reached out in their office. They keep track.
Do they?
Yeah. You're well over 50% of the time you're right. He's somewhere in the neighborhood of 70%. I don't know. Today, you might have just blown your big lead you have, though. She's wrong today. But are you right, folks? Do you guess it right most of the time? Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. And this, I think, is kind of a cool idea. I might even plan to do this sometime. Denmark opens the first ever Happiness Museum. Yeah. Happiness Museum is an institution dedicated to the idea of happiness and how it's been perceived and discussed over the centuries. I like their sign. It's a big yellow square. I would have made it a circular sign, but it's a big yellow square, and it says the Happiness Museum in like a big smile. It's like a half circle going up. And it says the aim of the Happiness Museum is to create a small museum about big things that happen in life. It says, we hope to inspire people and make people happier, and we also hope to make the world a better place. Happiness Research Institute is an organization that studies the science of happiness. The museum contains 7 interactive exhibits to explore happiness from different perspectives. So there's the geography of happiness, talking about where people are the happiest. The politics of happiness, talking about the political side of happiness. The happiness lab, where in our brains do we find joy? The anatomy of a smile. Can you recognize a fake smile and a genuine smile? How about laughter? Is it really contagious? The history of happiness and our understanding of what that means and how it's changed over 2,000 years. Nordic happiness. It rains an average of 170 days a year in Denmark, so they're talking about how that affects happiness. And then the future of happiness. Will artificial intelligence become emotionally intelligent too? Will our phones know how we feel? There's a lot of stuff they put into this, and it just sounds really interesting. The Happiness Museum officially opened July 14th, and it's in the Danish capital. It's open Tuesday through Sunday if you're interested in going, but I've got a link so you can kind of do a virtual tour. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. And since we always try to share, happy, good news, I thought that was pretty darn happy. It's the Happiness Museum, after all. It's time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.